All right, Eric Boatright of Alabama's Shallow Side, welcome. Thank you so much for taking some time to chat with us.
Thank you so very much for having us on today.
Absolutely. You guys are on the road right now. I think you're on an off day, going to be in Colorado tomorrow, if my memory serves.
We are making the cold trek right now.
Yeah, it is pretty cold out here right now. And looks like I'm going to have to wait until summertime to see you guys get up to Idaho, but it'll be worth the wait from everything I'm hearing on the new EP1.
Absolutely. It's always a good time. We pride ourselves on our live show.
And I'm looking forward to getting a chance to see that. But let's back up a little bit. For those who have yet to experience Shallow Side, obviously you guys are huge down south, and you've been playing like 200 shows a year, it seems like. Give us a little backstory on the band for everybody else out there who hasn't experienced you yet.
So we first started playing music together like any other band would, a garage type area. We actually played in an old rundown shed in the backwoods of North Alabama, and we would play songs that we liked, songs that we enjoyed, and then that party grew into a couple of hundred people would come and hang out. We had to take that party to venues because the cops would show up, but neighbors would complain. It started getting a little wild, so we took those things to venues, and the venues went to cities, and we went from Birmingham to Huntsville, from Huntsville to Atlanta, Atlanta to Nashville, Nashville to Memphis, and then it started growing to where now we travel 200 dates out of the year, like you were saying, and rock and roll is really revived itself in the North Alabama area through us, with us, and our fan base of people that we call our family. They're strong, and it's been a good thing for us.
Now, you're the vocalist in the band, obviously, but tell us about the other three members.
Well, Cody, he's our bass player. He's 8 foot tall. He's record breaking. He's actually the world's greatest bass player by height. He wins that by a couple of feet. And then our drummer, Heath, we're actually still working on trying to find him clothes. He doesn't wear clothes a lot. He's an animal behind the drum set. And then Seth gets picked on a lot by everybody, but no one really takes into consideration that he bench presses more than anyone else. So that's pretty much the band as a whole. They all fear me. That's the main thing, as they're all staring at me right now laughing. That's completely not true.
Well, and you guys, from everything I've read, you guys have had some trials and tribulations along the way. Tell us a little bit about that.
We have. It hasn't been easy, and no one really ever said that it was going to be easy, doing what you love. But when you love what you do, you bear with it, and you fight through the trials and tribulations that you go through. Heath, our drummer, has actually had 2 career-ending injuries, which he bounced back from. Luckily, I'm not sure if it's his superhuman genetics or he's just that crazy to step back behind the drum set. He actually had his thumb bitten off by a snapping turtle one time, and then in a alcohol skateboard relating incident, he broke his collarbone in 3 different places. And then fast forward a little bit, and Cody, our bass player, he actually had his finger ripped open while he was fishing. While we were fishing on tour, we had a day off, and his knuckle got ripped open. And then while we were in Florida, I was running, and I'm sure I was headed for a Taco John's or something like that. I'm not sure what exactly I was running after. I imagine it was food. I don't really run after anything else except for food. That's the type of guy I am. And I tripped and fell, and I landed on my face, and I wound up in the hospital for about 3 or 4 days. It was it's been tough on our bodies, and not to mention just this past week, you caught us on one of those weeks where it's happening again. Our head gasket and our bus blew up or died, or whatever head gaskets do that don't work anymore. That happened, and we had to rent a truck. So now we're finishing these dates, working our way into Las Vegas for the Radio Contraband Music Awards, and we're doing it in Alabama fashion in a huge pickup truck.
Well, I'd be worried about ripping body parts open and losing body parts, but remember, a singer in this day and age doesn't have to be pretty, so.
That's true. That is true. And I'm a redhead, so I really didn't have that thing fighting for me anyway. So.
All right, so as I mentioned at the outset, the new EP One is fantastic. A lot of attitude, rebel soul, if you will. Do you feel like this EP is sort of a continuation or an evolution from the first two EPs, Home Today and Stand Up?
It's definitely an evolution. We're continuing to grow within ourselves. We're all in our mid-20s. We're all young musicians, and we all started playing music together 6 years ago. So we're still, developing and honing our craft and understanding what it is to write a song and how to convey our story through music. So with every release that comes out, you're going to see a progression, a change, a development, an evolution in the band and our music.
Well, I haven't been able to take the EP out of my CD player all week, so if you're going to continue to evolve and get better, that's definitely a plus side to look forward to. So, did you guys go into this new album One with a plan for what you wanted specifically, or did you just sort of get into the studio and let things evolve in a more organic, spontaneous manner?
We have an idea of what we're shooting for, and we have, riffs or melodies or just sheer ideas that we're pulling from, and we kind of let them, write themselves. We kind of let them develop and create a world around themselves. So we're not, pigeonholed into saying that it has to be this. We work so hard so often that when we're allowed to be creative, we really let that creativity fly. We all had an idea of what we were shooting for, what we wanted to go for, what we wanted to sound like, and the stories that we wanted to tell on this EP. So, yeah, we're always plotting and planning our next move. That's something that I feel like we have above the competition, so to speak, which I don't really consider music competition, but for lack of better words, we're always plotting and planning and figuring out our next move and how we are going to create and stay creative, and we're always constantly pushing each other, which continues to develop within ourselves and as a team.
So let's talk about a few of the songs on the EP. You guys open it up with We Roll, which sounds like a little home state love there, if I'm hearing it correctly.
It is. It's a tip of the hat to collectively our favorite college team at the University of Alabama. We wanted to write a song and kind of express who we are, where we came from, and with the tip of the hat to the Crimson Tide. So that's where that song came from. And a funny story about that, they had the championship game against South Carolina, Clemson, and we went to South Carolina right after we released the CD, and we had everybody in the crowd singing that song. So Clemson actually beat Alabama, but we got everyone to sing We Roll in South Carolina. So that was a great little moment for us.
Nice.
Small victories, that's what matters.
And of course, you guys have already released the single Rebel, which, listening to it, watching the video, it really seems like that's the band's calling card right there.
Yeah, that was the one where we were able to really lay it out. I wanted to have a song on the EP that I could express that attitude. I could express the fact that, when you play music, when you do what you love, there's a lot of people that's always going to question it. They're always going to say, wow, what are you doing? That's not a real job. You're going to have to get a real job. What you're doing isn't worth it. You cannot, should not, would not type of things is what you're going to constantly hear. And we did, through all those hard times that we were already having, being in a torn band and body damage that we were doing to ourselves. We were still hearing those words, and that was our stamp, that we could say that, we don't really care. You can call us rebels.
This is who we are.
Yeah, exactly.
And, of course, everybody by now hopefully has heard your guys' incredible cover of Styx's Renegade. I understand you guys didn't even realize Tommy Shaw was an Alabama boy when you chose to cover that.
Had no clue. I had thought, of course, and I didn't do my extensive research that I probably should have, but I thought that everyone, the band Styx, was from Chicago. That's what I've always just known. And during talking with their camp about the song and about how the song was written and what's going on with Styx, they broke the news. They was like, yeah, that Tommy Shaw actually, he really likes it, and he's really proud that some fellow Alabama guys remade the song, and I was like, wait, what? Fellow? So he's from there too? Yeah, absolutely, in Montgomery. So he's from South Alabama. We're from North Alabama, but the soul stays true.
Yeah, like he said it was his favorite rendition of the song that anybody has covered so far, and maybe when you guys heard it and said, "Hey, this sounds like something we could do something with," you didn't realize it at the moment, but there was that Alabama undertone to it.
I had no clue. So I feel like I'd like to say that it almost chose us. That song almost chose us to lay it down and do a remake for it, and it turned out well. And Tommy Shaw actually sent a message to us that they completely approves it with a tip of the hat and a thumbs up. And if that don't turn you into a fanboy, then you just don't have it in you.
Absolutely. So Fight or Flight seems to almost be about perseverance and never giving up no matter the odds, which is sort of the story of Shallow Side.
That is it, and you hit it right on the head there. That is exactly what that song is about, and it's something that we say every night. You know, if you don't take anything else away from the show, we always try to make everyone understand that you always have those two choices, whether you can, fight for what you believe in, or you can just turn around and run away from it like it never happened. And our mission has always been stand up and fight for the things that we love and things that we want out of life, and it's proven successful now, and there's no need to turn back.
Since we've already talked about the other 4, and there's only 6 on here, sadly, I wish it were a full album because it's so incredible, but tell us a little bit about the last 2 tracks.
Start a Fire is just listening to it about all the dirty details and secrets of life. It's one of those songs. It's a sexy number. It feels good. The guitar riffs are crunchy. It feels right type of song. And then Can You Hear Me is actually going to be our next single to release off of the EP. And that was, again, one of our chances to say what was going on in the studio, what was going on in our head, was from everyone that we've tried to reach out to, everyone that we've been showing, numbers. We've been working hard. We clock in every single day, sick, broken, tired. It doesn't matter. We're clocking in every day, and we're proving it every day that we're out here. When we first started, we were doing it by ourselves. We were doing it by ourselves for 5.5 years, and we were doing well, but we still couldn't get that recognition. And it takes that, it takes that hard work and dedication for people to start looking and being like, okay, we got a contender over here. We got a contender. And now the more that we're rubbing elbows with the up and ups that are the music industry, they're realizing there's more than just a contender. These guys are real, and they're headed for the crown. And that's exactly what we're doing, and that's where that song stems from.
I want to thank you for taking a few minutes to talk about each of the songs, because really the story of the band is in the music and in the songs and the words that you guys write. So getting a little backstory on them tells more than I could ask in questions to the people who are listening and reading. So
absolutely. Love talking about the music.
Did you guys already go into the studio knowing like the name of all the songs, or did you guys do like so many bands and have working titles when you went in?
Oh, like when we're recording and before the song's finished, do we call it something else?
Right.
Oh yeah. But it's they're usually disgusting names that probably shouldn't ever be repeated.
Okay, fair enough. I know sometimes they're really silly, really off the wall, really raunchy. It's funny you mentioned, I think it was Start a Fire you were talking about. You said there was a sexy vibe to it. And I noticed on a couple of the songs when I was listening, the word sultry kept coming to mind, but I thought, no, that's sort of a feminine version of what I'm trying to say here. But there is sort of that nasty, sexy swagger that you guys have going on a lot of those songs.
Yeah, we come by it honest. We don't really have a whole bunch of Southern hospitality within the band. We're all actually a couple of assholes, but with us lacking the hospitality, we do have the gift of gab and the silver tongue. So we're lucky enough to have that, and we let it work in our favor for the most part.
Eric, excellent. Thank you so much. So last question before we get out of here. You guys have this excellent new EP. You spend so much time out on the road. What do you want to see happen for Shallow Side in 2017? What does it look like in your mind?
It's hard to say. We're headed for the top. So
I'm not sure that we've ever been there, so we're always like creating new lanes. And I'd like to see more theaters, larger crowds, arenas, that world. I'd like to see that for 2017.
Excellent. I want to thank you for taking some time, and I want to thank all of you guys for helping revive what rock and roll was about, going back to the bands like Styx, where it was about more than just, you know, all of the generic stuff we've been hearing on the radio for the last 10, 15 years. You guys have a lot of soul, as I said, a lot of heart in what you're doing, and you can really hear that melody and that genuineness that has been missing for a long time, and it's exciting to hear from a new band.
Well, thank you so much, and I really do appreciate you having us on the show.
Absolutely. You guys drive as safe as you can and have a great show. And I will look forward to meeting you guys this summer when you get out this way.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Take care.